for the competition? No, I've been lying dormant under a garbage heap for calculating 36 years. But the moment you landed on Pandora, I was reactivated because I've been programmed to help you upon your return.
No one knew I was coming here, not even me. Who programmed you?
I don't know, which is a shame because you're an awful person and I'd love to know who to blame for this. Since I don't, I have no choice but to serve you until you're dead. Did that sound like a threat? Sorry. Anyway, as long as you're not dead, I'm here to help.
We interrupt this program to bring you...
All right, everybody, my name is Kevin.
And my name's John.
And we are the Real Movie Guys, and welcome back to another episode of The Real Review, the series where we review and discuss all your favorite movies. On today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at Borderlands. An infamous bounty hunter returns to her childhood home at the chaotic planet Pandora and forms an unlikely alliance with a team of misfits to find the missing daughter of the most powerful man in the universe. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, if you like what you see here, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel today, because we are going to crap all over a movie, because John, I watched Borderlands, and by God, it's as bad as everyone says. I try not to put myself in the situation where I subscribe to the mob mentality of everyone like crapping all over a movie. I usually like to say, let me see it for myself. You know, I'm going to make my opinion. And Borderlands came out last year and it kind of just went under the radar for me. I heard how terrible it was. Everyone was crapping all over. I'm like, whatever, you know, it's probably, what did you expect kind of thing. And you know what? When you told me you watched it, I said, you know what? Let's talk about it. I think this is something we could review. I threw on Borderlands, and literally 5 minutes in, I think I texted you and said, oh my God, what am I watching? And seriously, and I'm not even trying to exaggerate, it really is that bad. This movie was garbage, my friend. I really did not have a good time whatsoever with this.
No, and you would expect from something that's built, even if it's, you know, even if it's a world that you have no interest in, even if you don't play video games, you would expect something based on an action game to at least entertain you with the action present in it. Right. And even in the scenes with the shooting and the explosions, I just couldn't bring myself to care.
No, and you know, and let's get this out of the way first. So I am a fan of the Borderlands games. I do enjoy them. I played all of them up to date as of right now. I do enjoy them. I want to make that clear. So, but I'm going to separate my opinion on those games from this movie, because I think you should do that. Whenever you see an adaptation, you should try and separate yourself. But what they took from the game, I don't know. It looks like a bunch of like cosplayers kind of just decided to dress up in really bad cosplay, and they threw a script together, because it's a mess, man. Even the first, again, 5 minutes of this movie, we're introduced to like a scroll crawl of dialogue that introduces the entirety of the story within this giant exposition dump. And then we're introduced to like 10 characters pretty much like right away, and they have no means of why they're hanging out together. There's like this berserker character, which I don't even know his name, to be honest with you. I'm not even going to look it up because I care that little about it. He ends up joining with Kevin Hart's character. I don't know, like, hey, I'm going to help you. Okay. That's like literally how they join up. And then we're literally thrust into like the Charlize Theron, or I'm sorry, Cate Blanchett storyline here with as Lilith. And I just kept sitting there going, she's so old and she's supposed to be like this young girl. I feel like they're trying to get that across, but she's not a young girl. It's super distracting. She's literally sleepwalking through this entire movie. Kevin Hart's not funny, which I really have a low tolerance for him to begin with. So him just being in this movie and not even being funny is a complete mystery to me. Eli Roth is directing this movie. There's no blood. There's no gore. The action's subpar to piss poor. It hurts, man. It really hurts. This movie's just so bad.
I think that they had a tough task from the beginning, because as we were talking about before, the most signature thing about Borderlands, other than the cool guns, which this movie, as we also talked about, did not have very many of. At least they could have had their like District 9 moment and show you some weird weapons, but they really didn't even do that. No. Is the humor, right? Like Borderlands is known for having kind of a snarky sense of humor. And the task is made difficult because that is nice in small doses, but when you don't have any action or anything that you yourself are doing that breaks it up, you just start to roll your eyes. It's like, you gotta just stop talking. Just let this movie end.
No, and when your dialogue's as bad as it is in this movie, it's just not funny. Like, there's none of the jokes I don't think hit for me. Some of Claptrap's earlier jokes did it for like a hot second, because it's Jack Black, and Jack Black will always charm me to the slightest, whenever he has a line of dialogue. There's one where like Lilith is saying something and he's like, "Oh, you're like super serious," or like, "That's sarcasm, haha." Okay, I chuckled. That's it. That's like as far as you got with me in this movie. But it's such a mess. The real problem with this movie, and I think it can all kind of stem back to like the behind the scenes stuff from what I did a little bit of detective work. I tend to do that every now and then. So the movie kind of wrapped in the summer of 2021. They actually finished shooting and like all the, for all intensive purposes, I guess, editing, whatever, 2022. And then the movie kind of sat there for a really long time, and Eli Roth was on the project. He wanted it to be R. That was the first cut of this movie. Apparently it had an extreme R rating. Then they kind of, the studio's like, "That's not what we want." It sat there for 2 years. They went back in, did reshoots 2 years later, readjusted the movie, reorganized it. And I think that's kind of why you have the mess that we have like right in our hands right here. Again, do you think it would have been a good movie if they didn't do that? I want to say no, to be honest with you. I don't even think the bones are that good in this movie, because what do we have if you really look at this movie? Someone said, "I like Guardians of the Galaxy. That's a good movie, so I'm going to kind of make Guardians of the Galaxy, but bad." That's what this is. And a lot of movies have done that. Dungeons and Dragons is a movie where I think they did, "Hey, I saw Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm going to make a movie," but did it well and made it interesting, and I actually had a good time with it. This ain't it. This is not the assignment right here. This is definitely a failure on multiple levels with using that formula.
Yeah, it just it just wasn't entertaining to watch,
No.
which it should have been.
Right.
And there was nothing in it of value as far as plot or themes or anything. There was nothing to grab onto. And I think, the struggle between rated R and PG-13, I think the other problem they had is that they tried to make a movie that was very broad. PG-13 action movie based on a video game. Everyone can go see it, but who's going to really want to go see it?
Right, and we've seen successes where they've done rated R and it's worked extremely well. Deadpool, I think, is probably the biggest, honestly, example of that, where it could have been PG-13 Deadpool. They decided, no, we're going to put out an R-rated film. Now it's one of the highest grossing comedies of all time, I'm pretty sure. I think the first one and the second one are up there. Why not follow that example, right? You're going to the studio wants to make their money. Why not just give us the thing that people want so you can make the money instead of trying to give it to everyone? It doesn't seem to work well that way.
The thing that does work about the Deadpool movies, the thing that even if the humor and even if the references don't work for you, is that it's kind of transgressive. Like, it's breaking boundaries, breaking walls. It's doing things you don't expect it to do. And my biggest problem with Borderlands is it does exactly what you would expect it to do every time, and in a way that's not entertaining.
Right. And
so it's just following the notes of a basic adventure
which
story.
Is so odd, right? When you really look at like what this movie is, because the world is absolutely interesting. It's definitely got an interesting world, a different setting. It's got interesting looking characters. Some of the marketplaces and stuff kind of did look interesting, but at the same time, they're also kind of boring and generic. And I shouldn't be saying that about something as creative as something from the Borderlands franchise, where when you look at that game, you're looking at the Borderlands game. The cell shaded weird graphics and the cartoony characters, and you know what you see when you see it. It's instantly identifiable. This movie's not it on so many levels, and throwing a massive amount of talent at it does not make dialogue work. I don't know how much Hollywood needs to understand that. When you have Jamie Lee Curtis and Cate Blanchett on the screen together, and they cannot sell this movie to me, two historic actresses that just really, they've been around the block more times than most people have as far as acting, and they can't sell any of this movie to me. That's on the screenwriters and the director. That's not on the actors at all. Having Kevin Hart, like I said, not being funny, I don't understand what that was. Did you understand why he was like the straight guy? Because that's not like what I would have done at all.
You know, I think that they wanted, as far as marketing, to put Kevin Hart in the
Yeah.
movie somewhere, and he couldn't be the giant berserker.
Yeah, I
And he
mean, right? That would have been funnier at least.
character. It would have been pretty funny if everyone was acting as though he was some giant. But he wasn't a good fit for the role, but they wanted him in the movie.
Yeah.
Is what I think it boils down to.
And it's funny when Kevin Hart isn't the most annoying comedic character in a movie, when it's actually like Jack Black is probably the most annoying character in the movie. It's funny when I can say that. I don't get to say that very often when I see Kevin Hart in something. But yeah, Jack Black is just intolerable by the mid scene. I think after his introduction, like I couldn't stand it anymore. And there's some jokes to it. I think the references for Borderlands fans, there are at least a few good ones. When they're shooting Claptrap and he kind of just doesn't die, he kind of just like recovers. I think that's kind of funny. Though that's always from the games. I always think that's funny.
He even explains it off as he's somehow built to resist the munitions that are available to you, or
and
something.
that's kind of funny, right? Those are like the kind of things I want. Like use some of those in-world comedy moments that the players understand and give that to the casual audience. And I think the casual audience would eat that up. You even said the action scenes. None of the action scenes were exciting at all. I think you could say Eli Roth knows how to film action. So I could say to some degree the cinematography is competent. But I think you asked me, what did you think? What about this tells you Eli Roth? And I said, I couldn't tell you a damn thing. I don't think there really is anything besides, even if I say the action scenes are competently shot, that's not an Eli Roth thing. That's just, you shot a good looking scene.
Professional director.
Right, exactly. It has nothing to do with it. And it's really tough, man. It's really tough. I think just everything about this movie is a complete disaster. It's even hard to talk about to some degree because it's just such a mess. Even the poster for this movie was a mess, where I think they caught the camera shot. The camera was caught in the actual film poster when they posted this.
I remember hearing about
and
this.
That's like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Lionsgate? I know times are tough, and we know we're in a world where video game movies are like super good now. You could have done something with this. If it was so bad, just write it off as a loss. Warner Brothers has been doing that. I think you could have done it too. I don't think the world needed to see this movie. It sucks to say that too, because there are men and women that obviously worked on this project and, they want to see their work come to light. But if I were attached to it, I don't know if I would have want my name on this, to be honest with you. It's really that much of a mess. Is there any positives, John, that you can really say about this? Was there anything you would say? I know I hate to end on such like a crap note, but it's like
as faint praise as this is, the one thing that I was thinking to myself was, there are multiple scenes in a mine. I can appreciate that this is well lit.
Yeah, that's all right. I can say so. It was well lit. You thought the dark scenes were well lit.
I thought the dark scenes were well lit. Yeah. That is my positive for Borderlands.
Yeah, and I think some of the costumes do look okay for the most part. Again, I thought the market scene looked okay. I think the costumes looked fine. Again, I think we even talked about it. Cosplayers even looked a little better than some of these costumes in this movie. Just nothing feels like it belongs together. It's like a green screen disaster that's boggled down by reshoots. I'm sick of talking about it, man. We're going to go into our final scores. I'm going to give Borderlands a 2 out of 10. I don't know what to say, man. I really I want to give it some points for like existing, and then a point for maybe just like it looked okay. But this movie's it's a mess. It's a disaster. No one's going to remember how bad this movie is. And I think that's for the best. I think it's one of those movies that kind of came out, everyone shit on it for like a good couple weeks, and then we just forgot about it. And that's kind of going to be this movie's legacy, unfortunately. Borderlands deserves better. I think you can do something with this world. It's kind of like any project, right? In the right hands, I think you could bring something to life, and it can be super entertaining. Would the R-rated cut of our Eli Roth's masterpiece saved it? I don't think so. I'm sorry. I think you're dreaming if you really thought that was going to save this movie. It's not there. It's a mess. Even the Borderlands games, if we really want to make those comparisons, they've kind of fallen off more recently with some of their humor, and people have been saying how immature and just like the tone's not right. They're even like in a weird transitionary state, I think, right now. So as far as this movie, it's a disaster. Just don't watch it. Please skip it. Just don't waste your time. Even if you're morbidly curious like I was and you wanted to eventually see it, just don't. John, what do you think?
It's not so bad. It's good. It's not. There's nothing to be entertained by, either legitimately or just to laugh at it. If I'm gonna score this movie, I would give it a 2.5 out of 10 for existing,
Yeah.
for being well lit in dark scenes, and I can understand what's happening. Basic aspects of a movie, right? It
Right.
exists. It was completed. It has a beginning, middle, and end.
I know it's sad when your like biggest compliment is it was well lit in the dark scenes. That is a pretty big compliment. Hey, Hollywood, take notes, right? There's some really dark
You'll
scenes
get an
out
extra
there.
half a point.
Yeah, we'll give it
just
to you.
for having your dark scenes
Yeah.
well lit.
Yeah, it sucks. The biggest thing that could have worked for this movie, if it was so bad it's good, it just isn't. It's just so bad. And it really sucks to say that when you see a movie like this, because, it wants to be on my radar so bad it's good. And then maybe that's kind of what I hoped it was going to be when I watched it. I was like, oh, the reviews, it's probably got, Morbius is like one that's like that for me, where I know everyone shit on Morbius. I actually think it's so bad it's good. I think there's a lot of really fun things in that movie just that I really personally enjoyed. But this wasn't it. I couldn't wait for it to be over. I put myself through this really long movie too. I want to say it was hour and 41 minutes. It felt like 3 hours. I don't know it felt terrible when I was watching it. I didn't even want to slog through it, but what I want to know is in the comments below, what did you think of Borderlands? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Am I completely wrong? Are we off base here? If there is something redeeming, please, in the comments below, let me know. What did I miss?
I would love to know why you loved it.
I really want to know. If it's so bad it's good, justify it. Let's hear it in the comments. I'm not going to judge you. I really do want to see what you have to say, because it's one of those times, maybe I'm just looking at it from a weird perspective. I'm missing the complete point of it. I don't think I am. But if I am, hey, let us know. But I want to thank you guys all for joining us. We are The Real Movie Guys. My name's Kevin. That's John. We'll see you guys in the next review. If you guys like what you've seen here today, consider giving this video a like and leaving your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to stay up to date with everything Real Movie Guys related, make sure to hit that subscribe button and check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And don't forget, all you audio listeners at home, we are available on many podcasting platforms. Just search The Real Movie Guys. You should pop right up. Thank you again all so much for joining us on this episode of The Real Review. We are The Real Movie Guys. Real guys, real movies, real thoughts. Catch you next time.